of a day when the land shall sink, and the dark ocean shall ascend amidst universal pandemonium.
Hello, Wolfpack, and welcome to my very creepy room. I mean, I don't even have covers on my bed. Welcome to Dagon. Now, this is a faithful reproduction of one of H.P. Lovecraft's earlier works, also called Dagon. It's a short story that details a man's descent into madness and the monsters that surround him. Now, I have no idea what it's actually about, but this is going to be a really cool experience. This was originally a totally free-to-play flat-screen game, but they recently enabled a VR version, and it looks really cool. Now, this is a visual novel, and we will hear a man talk as he reads the story, and we're gonna see some crazy shit. But there is also trivia facts, and you find these as you go along the story. Now, these are texts about, like, historical context of what H.P. Lovecraft was writing about, letters that he wrote to fans, and so on and so forth. Because they are all text-based, they kind of ruin the flow of the story. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get them all and put them at the end of the video. So if you do want to read more about who he was as a person, what the inspirations for this story were, they're all going to be back there. You can check the chapters. But for now, let's begin our own descent into madness. Dagon is a faithful interactive adaptation of H.P. Lovecraft's work focused on story and atmosphere. You will not find difficult choices, action sequences, or inventory management here. Movement is limited to progressing through the locations along with the plot. Here we go.
I am writing this under an appreciable mental strain, since by tonight I shall be no more.
Wait, we're already going to die? That is not what I signed up for. The game looks really beautiful. You can hear the rain pitter-pattering. My room is awful. I guess I was some sort of writer. Now remember, this is not an autobiography of H.P. Lovecraft. It is a story. So what happens to this man? Well, I guess we don't know.
Penniless, and at the end of my supply of the drug which alone makes life endurable, I can bear the torture no longer, and shall cast myself from this garret window into the squalid street below.
You want me to jump from the window? Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. I have so many stories to write and apparently drugs to take. Oh, I'm out of drugs.
Do not think from my slavery to morphine that I am a weakling or a degenerate.
So morphine is my drug of choice. Why is my door barred? Why am I blocking that? Is there something on the other side?
When you have read these hastily scrawled pages, you may guess, though never fully realize, why it is that I must have forgetfulness or death.
So that right there is a trivia thing. It's gonna pop up all this stuff, and this one is about morphine, why he was writing about it, what happened during that time period, so on and so forth. Like I said, if you want to read these, check the end of the video.
It was in one of the most open and least frequented parts of the broad Pacific that the packet of which I was supercargo fell a victim to the German sea raider.
Oh. So I'm on a boat, and I guess the German sea raider took me over, capsized me, attacked me? Oh, yep, attacked me. Okay.
The Great War was then at its very beginning, and the ocean forces of the Hun had not completely sunk to their later degradation.
The Hun? What flag is that?
So that our vessel was made a legitimate prize, whilst we of her crew were treated with all the fairness and consideration due us as naval prisoners.
Well, I mean, that's good. Could have been worse, I guess. It really is beautiful. I like my ship. Oh, it's gonna tell me right here. During World War I, the British used the word Hun as a synonym for Germans. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, so that's a German flag, I guess, during World War I.
So liberal, indeed, was the discipline of our captors that 5 days after we were taken, I managed to escape alone in a small boat with water and provisions for a good length of time.
Yeah, I don't see any land out there. Beautiful day, but how long are we gonna have to survive in a boat? That's it? That's all I have? One canteen of water and some Spam? Oh no. And we're in the water.
When I finally found myself adrift and free, I had but little idea of my surroundings.
Oh, I am so screwed. This is gorgeous. It looks so beautiful. Is there anything waiting for me in the depth of the ocean? Hi, stars. Can I navigate by you?
Never a competent navigator.
Never mind.
I could only guess vaguely by the sun and stars that I was somewhat south of the equator.
Oh, we are so screwed.
Of the longitude, I knew nothing, and no island or coastline was in sight. The weather kept fair, and for uncounted days I drifted aimlessly beneath the scorching sun, waiting either for some passing ship or to be cast on the shores of some habitable land. The weather kept fair, and for uncounted days I drifted aimlessly beneath the scorching sun, waiting either for some passing ship or to be cast on the shores of some habitable land.
I mean, I guess I was a prisoner, so I did have to escape, but I do not feel like I really thought this through.
But neither ship nor land appeared, and I began to despair in my solitude upon the heaving vastness of unbroken blue.
Okay, the guy's got away with words, though. I'll give him that. I am getting a bit anxious, just surrounded by water, with nothing around me.
The change happened whilst I slept.
What, I'm changing? Or the world is changing? What is changing?
Its details I shall never know.
But I want to know them.
For my slumber, though troubled and dream-infested, was continuous.
So we slept through the change. That is not good. Oh my god! What the hell? Whoa. Are we still in the ocean? Hi, buddy. How you doing? You're looking really cool. There are so many animals. This poor octopus is stuck upside down. I don't know what that is. It looks like a Cylon ship. And my boat is stuck in the mud, tentacles crawling all over it. Okay, so did the water just disappear? What happened?
When at last I awoke, it was to discover myself half sucked into a slimy expanse of hellish black mire, which extended about me in monotonous undulations as far as I could see.
Oh, so much undulating.
And in which my boat lay grounded some distance away.
Yeah, that is not a good sign. Do we have to walk the length of the ocean now?
Though one might well imagine that my first sensation would be of wonder at so prodigious and unexpected a transformation of scenery, I was in reality more horrified than astonished.
I would not be astonished. Okay, but we're probably dreaming, right? He said we were sleeping. Hey, fishy. And, oh, I didn't even see you here, buddy. Ooh, that is awful. But we're probably asleep. We'll wake up and the water will be back.
For there was in the air and in the rotting soil a sinister quality which chilled me to the very core. The region was putrid with the carcasses of decaying fish and of other less describable things which I saw protruding from the nasty mud of the unending plain. Perhaps I should not hope to convey in mere words the unutterable hideousness that can dwell in absolute silence and barren immensity.
Yeah, but I mean, you're doing a great job.
There was nothing within hearing and nothing in sight save a vast reach of black slime. Yet the very completeness of the stillness and the homogeneity of the landscape oppressed me with a nauseating fear.
Is that Orion's belt? Okay, is that Orion's belt? Oh, how many belts are there in the sky?
The sun was blazing down from a sky which seemed to me almost black in its cloudless cruelty, as though reflecting the inky marsh beneath my feet.
You squishies.
As I crawled into the stranded boat, I realized that only one theory could explain my position.
What is that? Why is there a mass of mud just undulating in front of me? Okay, so here's my boat, which is very dark. Why is there like a weird smoke? My lantern, okay, hello? Is there a Titanic nearby?
Through some unprecedented volcanic upheaval, a portion of the ocean floor must have been thrown to the surface, exposing regions for which innumerable millions of years had lain hidden under unfathomable watery depths.
I mean, it's kind of a cool concept. The water just disappears and the land rises because, hey up there, how you doing? There is some spooky stuff in the ocean, but whatever that is, we need to get the hell out of here, man.
So great was the extent of the new land which had risen beneath me that I could not detect the faintest noise of the surging ocean, straining my ears as I might.
Yeah, because it's gone.
Nor were there any seafowl to prey upon the dead things.
Ooh, actually, that's kind of true. There are no birds. Birds would be having a field day unless I was in the middle of the ocean.
For several hours I sat thinking or brooding in the boat, which lay upon its side and afforded a slight shade as the sun moved across the heavens.
Oh, there it goes. Look at that sun move.
As the day progressed, the ground lost some of its stickiness and seemed likely to dry sufficiently for traveling purposes in a short time.
We're really gonna try walking, huh? Can we walk away from that?
That night I slept but little, and the next day I made for myself a pack containing food and water, preparatory to an overland journey in search of the vanished sea and possible rescue.
Dude, I am invested in this guy's life. How are these things still alive? That is getting closer to me, right? Absolutely. Okay, there's a giant moon. Let's go.
On the third morning, I found the soil dry enough to walk upon with ease.
Okay. Nothing seems to be following me. Actually, there is nothing at all.
The odor of the fish was maddening, but I was too much concerned with graver things to mind so slight an evil, and set out boldly for an unknown goal.
Squishy, squishy. Oh.
All day I forged steadily westward,
What the hell?
guided by a faraway hummock which rose higher than any other elevation on the rolling desert.
So we're going for the giant mountain. Is that one of the bugs from Half-Life? Because that's what it looks like. That is not a normal sea creature, and that might just be a sucker. Oh god, keep running. Keep running. Get to the mountain. Squish faster. Ooh. Oh, hey, Mr. Whale. Oh, look at him, just staring at me. Please help me. I bet you guys didn't know I speak whale. Look at the crab legs. Can you imagine like a Joe's Crab Shack selling some of that stuff? Oh, delicious.
That night, I encamped, and on the following day still traveled toward the hummock, though that object seemed scarcely nearer than when I had first espied it.
No, it is definitely getting bigger, but can we talk about the giant tentacles? Because they're huge, and that one is especially huge. Oh my god, can we go faster? Oh.
By the fourth evening, I attained the base of the mound, which turned out to be much higher than it had appeared from a distance.
Yeah. No, that is a Mount Everest.
An intervening valley setting it out in sharper relief from the general surface.
How am I gonna climb that?
Too weary to ascend, I slept in the shadow of the hill.
I would not be able to fall asleep.
I know not why my dreams were so wild that night.
You don't know? Because I can guess.
But ere the waning and fantastically gibbous moon had risen far above the eastern plain, I was awake in a cold perspiration, determined to sleep no more.
It's just a rock. That's my stuff. There's the mountain. Okay.
Such visions as I had experienced were too much for me to endure again. And in the glow of the moon I saw how unwise I had been to travel by day.
Why? Why? Is there something that we need to avoid?
Without the glare of the parching sun, my journey would have cost me less energy.
Oh. Okay, yeah. No, that's just like basic desert travel stuff. Okay, cool.
Indeed, I now felt quite able to perform the ascent which had deterred me at sunset.
What are we gonna even do up there, man? We're in the middle of the ocean.
Picking up my pack, I started for the crest of the eminence.
That's a cool name, though.
I have said that the unbroken monotony of the rolling plain was a source of vague horror to me.
Yeah?
But I think my horror was greater when I gained the summit of the mound and looked down the other side into an immeasurable pit or canyon.
Oh no. Oh.
Whose black recesses the moon had not yet soared high enough to illumine.
Oh. Oh. Yeah, that is a big old pit. We're screwed, my dude. We are so screwed, we might as well just, jump off,
I felt myself on the edge of the world, peering over the rim into a fathomless chaos of eternal night.
I don't want to look. Oh, it is so dark. It is so dark down there. I know.
Through my terror ran curious reminiscences of Paradise Lost.
Yeah, great book.
And of Satan's hideous climb through the unfashioned realms of darkness.
Is the devil coming for me?
As the moon climbed higher in the sky, I began to see that the slopes of the valley were not quite so perpendicular as I had imagined.
I guess we're climbing down.
Ledges and outcroppings of rock afforded fairly easy footholds for a descent.
Alright, that's good.
Whilst after a drop of only a few hundred feet, the declivity became very gradual.
Yeah, I actually feel like we have not gone very far at all, my dude.
Urged on by an impulse which I cannot definitely analyze.
What?
I scrambled with difficulty down the rocks and stood on the gentler slope beneath.
Yeah, but what? Wow, we really came down here. What is that giant rectangle in front of us?
Gazing into the Stygian deeps, where no light had yet penetrated. All at once, my attention was captured by a vast and singular object on the opposite slope, which rose steeply about 100 yards ahead of me.
What is that?
An object that gleamed whitely in the newly bestowed rays of the ascending moon.
Oh, I love how you speak to me. Oh.
That it was merely a gigantic piece of stone, I soon assured myself.
Yeah, no, just perfectly carved stone.
But I was conscious of a distinct impression that its contour and position were not altogether the work of nature.
Of course it's not the work of nature. Maybe it's a part of Atlantis, and because the seas left...
A closer scrutiny filled me with sensations I cannot express.
Ooh, good sensations?
For despite its enormous magnitude, and its position in an abyss which had yawned at the bottom of the sea since the world was young, I perceived beyond a doubt that the strange object was a well-shaped monolith.
Uh-huh.
Whose massive bulk had known the workmanship and perhaps the worship of living and thinking creatures.
Yeah, well, it is really big, so I'm not keen on seeing whatever built that. Then again, we did build skyscrapers, and human beings are pretty tiny, but I don't think that's gonna be tiny.
Dazed and frightened, yet not without a certain thrill of the scientist's or archaeologist's delight, I examined my surroundings more closely.
If only I had a magnifying glass. Closer we go. Oh shit!
Now near the zenith, shone weirdly and vividly above the towering steeps that hemmed in the chasm.
Hey, Mr. Moon. What is that? Okay, we have like a tarot card, a bunch of things above the water, then mer people, and then big skulls and a whale.
And revealed the fact that a far-flung body of water flowed at the bottom, winding out of sight in both directions and almost lapping my feet as I stood on the slope.
I mean, that is interesting, that there is water in this waterless world.
Across the chasm, the wavelets washed the base of the Cyclopean monolith, on whose surface I could now trace both inscriptions and crude sculptures. The writing was in a system of hieroglyphics unknown to me and unlike anything I'd ever seen in books.
How did I get up here?
Consisting for the most part of conventionalized aquatic symbols such as fishes, eels, octopi, crustaceans, mollusks, whales, and the like.
Yeah, but then there's that in the middle. Cthulhu.
Several characters obviously represented marine things which are unknown to the modern world.
Like that guy right there? With his tentacle beard?
But whose decomposing forms I had observed on the ocean-risen plain. It was the pictorial carving, however, that did most to hold me spellbound. Plainly visible across the intervening water on account of their enormous size were an array of bas-reliefs whose subjects would have excited the envy of a doré.
I don't know who that is. I like the mer-people, though. Are they worshipping this monolith?
I think that these things were supposed to depict men, at least a certain sort of men.
Mermen?
Though the creatures were shown disporting like fishes in the waters of some marine grotto, or paying homage at some monolithic shrine, which appeared to be under the waves as well.
Yup, where it belongs.
Of their faces and forms I dare not speak in detail.
Okay, the music is like really creeping me out. Some heavy bass.
For the mere remembrance makes me grow faint.
Oh, mer-people.
Grotesque beyond the imagination of a Poe or a Bulwer.
What? Are those the faces? Okay, those are actually really creepy. That one is giving me the heebie-jeebies.
They were damnably human in general outline, despite webbed hands and feet, shockingly wide and flabby lips, glassy, bulging eyes, and other features less pleasant to recall. Curiously enough, they seemed to have been chiseled badly out of proportion with their scenic background.
Huh.
For one of the creatures was shown in the act of killing a whale, represented as but little larger than himself.
Oh yeah, that thing is huge.
I remarked, as I say, their grotesqueness and strange size.
That's what she said.
But in a moment decided that they were merely the imaginary gods of some primitive fishing or seafaring tribe.
Yeah, no, that is definitely what this is.
Some tribe whose last descendant had perished eras before the first ancestor of the Piltdown or Neanderthal man was born.
It all checks out to me.
Awestruck at this unexpected glimpse into a past beyond the conception of the most daring anthropologist.
Yeah, you're very proud of yourself.
I stood musing whilst the moon cast queer reflections on the silent channel before me.
I don't like it.
Then, suddenly, I saw it.
You saw what? You saw what? What did you see? What am I... What is happening? Oh, the water. Oh, the water. It is a rippling. We should go, right?
With only a slight churning to mark its rise to the surface, the thing slid into view above the dark waters.
Oh my god. I hate it. I hate it. Where is it?
Polyphemus-like and loathsome, it darted like a stupendous monster of nightmares to the monolith.
Holy shit! You are a big boy! Look at those clamps you got on the ends of your arms. Oh, okay, yeah, I don't think he's noticed us, so let's run.
About which it flung its gigantic scaly arms, the while it bowed its hideous head and gave vent to certain measured sounds. I think I went mad then.
Yeah, you probably went mad like a long time ago while you were floating in the ocean for like 20 days.
Of my frantic ascent of the slope and cliff, and of my delirious journey back to the stranded boat, I remember little.
But what does it matter? Where are you going to go? Is he still down there? Is he still down there? Get out of here.
I believe I sang a great deal, and laughed oddly when I was unable to sing.
It's my whale friend. Aw, that guy probably killed you. Why am I singing so much?
I have indistinct recollections of a great storm sometime after I reached the boat.
Well, everything here died. There's still that mound right there. What are we gonna do, man?
At any rate, I know that I heard pearls of thunder and other tones which nature utters only in her wildest moods.
Oh, nature is feeling feisty today.
When I came out of the shadows, I was in a San Francisco hospital.
What? Okay, so I went crazy, right? I had to have gone crazy.
Brought thither by the captain of the American ship which had picked up my boat in mid-ocean.
Yeah, the ocean didn't sink, dum-dum.
In my delirium, I had said much, but found that my words had been given scant attention. Of any land upheaval in the Pacific, my rescuers knew nothing.
Okay, I'm just a crazy person.
Nor did I deem it necessary to insist upon a thing which I knew they could not believe.
Well, that's good of you, because they would put you in an asylum. Hello?
Once I sought out a celebrated ethnologist and amused him with peculiar questions regarding the ancient Philistine legend of Dagon, the fish god.
Oh, that's the story title. That's a pretty girl. Oh, get out of here. I like the merman and the guys. It looks like he's just wearing a dead fish, to be honest with you. Weird statue. I don't like this room.
But soon perceiving that he was hopelessly conventional, I did not press my inquiries.
Ugh, you don't believe me about the fish god?
It is at night, especially when the moon is gibbous and waning, that I see the thing.
What do you mean you see it? Is that why you barred the door? Is that why we're jumping out of a window? Because you had some crazy fever dream on the ocean?
I tried morphine.
Yep, how'd that work out for you?
But the drug has given only transient surcease, and has drawn me into its clutches as a hopeless slave.
Very addictive.
So now, I am to end it all.
There are other options.
A full account for the information, or the contemptuous amusement of my fellow men.
Yeah, mostly that one.
Often, I ask myself if it could not all have been a pure phantasm.
Which it was.
A mere freak of fever, as I lay sun-stricken and raving in the open boat, after my escape from the German man-of-war.
That is really cool. The sun and the moon just hauling across the sky. But dude, is that not the most likely explanation? You were in the middle of the ocean, the sun was right there, of course you went crazy.
This I ask myself, but ever does there come before me a hideously vivid vision in reply.
What's happening? What's the vision? Huh?
I cannot think of the deep sea without shuddering at the nameless things that may at this very moment be crawling and floundering on its slimy bed.
Yeah, that is a totally normal fear that many people have. What is it, thalassophobia? Yeah, thalassophobia, okay? Fear of the deep, you're fine.
Worshipping their ancient stone idols and carving their own detestable likenesses on submarine obelisks of water-soaked granite.
Okay, that is really, really cool. God, you are huge! His foot is like 5 of my boats.
I dream of a day when they may rise above the billows to drag down into their reeking talons the remnants of puny, war-exhausted mankind.
I mean, yeah, they would absolutely destroy us.
Of a day when the land shall sink and the dark ocean shall ascend amidst universal pandemonium.
Okay, that is really, really cool. How many of you are there? It's like an army of Godzillas coming to attack New York. That is so sick. Ooh, I guess I do get some chills from that. That would be end of the world stuff right there.
The end is near.
It doesn't have to be? Oh no. Oh, I don't like that. Thank God we have that nightstand by there. That will surely protect us from the fish monster.
I hear a noise at the door, as of some immense slippery body lumbering against it.
Yeah, but how did they, like, get up into your apartment? You know, wouldn't have people noticed and been screaming and stuff? Oh, I don't want to go to the door. No, that is no.
It shall not find me.
But I think it found you, man. Did you have your place listed on Craigslist or something? Because it is here. Oh, shit. Hello?
God, that hand!
Oh, it's a scaly hand.
The window! The window!
What if I don't go to the window? Are you gonna come in? Maybe he's just selling something. Is that my DoorDash order? Okay, we're going to the window. Ooh, there goes my bones. Thank you for playing. That was so cool. We hope you enjoyed immersing yourself in our little pool of cosmic horror. I really did. That was awesome. Now remember, this was normally just a flat screen game, hence there's not a lot of interaction or hands or anything, but the fact that they let it come into VR, oh, to be there and to see the scale and the creatures, oh, it is so good. So happy Halloween, Wolfpack. I hope you enjoyed our descent into madness together. I love stuff like this because it's another side of VR that I don't get to show too much. This one more of a visual novel, and it was really good. If you want to learn more about H.P. Lovecraft, this time period, and this story, stay tuned to the end of the video because there's going to be a ton of different texts that you can read through. I'll put some fun music and you can enjoy yourself, but for now, I think I might just jump out this window. Goodbye!